So, someone asked me how I did my new mouse rig. As you can see, the difference between both my standard model and my chibi gooby model, the mouse movements are clearly more fluid, with distinct shape for each phonemes. So if I go A, I, U, E, O, the mouse really changed properly. Well, almost. I think the E is a bit messed up. Let me E. You're supposed to see the T, so if I go to my parameter and right there, as you can see, is where you calibrate stuff. E. So now it should be more accurate. So if I go A, E, well, I guess it doesn't want to work today, but you get the point. I will show you how I rig my parameters so I can do this. Even if, as you can see, it's not perfect. I'm using just an Android phone or my webcam sometimes, but I'm not using some fancy tracking like the one you get with iPhones, or I think it's Vibrator that is also really great at face tracking. But right here I'm just using VTube Studio to improve my mouse tracking. So I'll show you basically how I set up all my parameters in Live2d Cubism, and just so you can do the same if you want to achieve this different type of mouse tracking. What I will warn is that you need a microphone, so just right now I'm using a Blue Yeti with a voice meter as a thing to make it sound better. I showed in an earlier video the different how I sound like with and without voice meter, and I'm pretty sure how the audio of your microphone work will improve how the mouse tracking works. If I have a shitty microphone, I'm probably going to have a shitty mouse tracking. I mean, it makes sense, right? Since it's using the audio to, well, I guess even if you have a shitty mic, if you have a good calibration, you should still have something that's better. But yeah, you can see old parameters and new parameters. The mouse tracking is really different. I still have the option to smile or not. It's still, well, on the Gooby model the expression aren't the same, so I don't have to worry that much, but as you can see, since the interface move up and down when the mouse open, it can be a bit fiddly, and especially if I use expression, so it's mainly for big models, but it can work for smaller. And I still want to show the smaller model because I have the parameters set up differently. I don't know if you can see, but for my standard model, the A and O are all the same artwork, but for the Gooby, the O sound is basically the default mouse is hidden and a round PNG of the mouse is slapped above. So as you can see, the Gooby model doesn't even have a bottom lip technically. It has just the PNG of the inside of the mouse go ow ow ow, but and just colon tree shaped top lip. So when I go to make the O, it's way easier to have a separate PNG than using changing the shape of the lip. So yeah, I will show you how I set up everything. So I'm not going to show you how to rig the mouse on the head axis and stuff. I'm gonna assume you know how to do the up, down, left, right stuff. I'm just going to show you the parameter for the mouse rig when you come to the phonemes. So I deleted all of the parameters since we're not going to bother with those for now. I'm just going to show you. So the default stuff you should already be used to is a mouse form and mouse open. For now, I'm not going to touch this. First, we're going to create the other parameter we need. So first, you need a silence and param silence, minimum 0, maximum 1, normal. Next, we'll need to create 5 plane shapes. So, oh, I forgot. Let me go back. Sorry, it's a bit unscripted and stuff. I need to change some parameters because you're not seeing the little windows that open when I create stuff. My bad. I'm used to recording my art setup and not my other program, so I need to change my OBS on the fly a little bit. So don't mind me too much. It should be my primary monitor. Okay, this one. So if I create a parameter, yeah, now you can see. So as I said, the first one is silence. So name silence, parameter ID param silence. Alright. Then the 5 plane shapes. So don't forget to check the postmark. So the first one is A, param A. Next is I, for the sound E and not I. It's the Japanese phonemes, which are coincidentally also the French ones, pretty much. So to me it's easy to remember, but for some other language it might be a little... Oop, I forgot to click blend shapes. Don't forget. Because it can mess it will mess things up. So U for the U sound, O for the O sound, and E for the E sound. So now we got all 5 parameters. It's all good. So for the layer, I don't know how you rig your mouse, but for me the simplest way without too much hassle. Sometimes I make more layers, but at minimum I have 5 layers: the top lip, the bottom lip, the top row of teeth, and the bottom row of teeth with the tongue. Sometimes I separate the teeth and the tongue, but since the focus of this parameter is the lips for the most part, I mean, as I said, the Gooby model has even less layers than that. You only have the top lip, the inside of the mouth, and the top teeth. So it's really based on what you prefer. And then I have the inner mouth. So what I like to do first is to have both of the teeth be clipped to the inside of the mouth. Oop. Where are you? You're not a man. I think I copied pasted the wrong thing. So here, that way, if I want to make the inside of the mouth, I can change that without deforming the teeth and without the teeth going outside of the lips and stuff. And then we have the top lips. I usually clip the top lips to both of the lips to the color of the head. So if I wanted to go like this, it wouldn't go outside of the head, but right, since I'm not showing how to rig the left, right, up, down movement, I don't really have to worry about it. But for the most part, we have the layer right where I need them to be. So let's start with the most basic of stuff. I'll make the path like this for the top lip and for the bottom lip. I'll be honest, I'm not worried too much about how the layer is separated in terms of mesh right now, because as you can see, it's kind of a throwaway visual. But now, for now, I'm just going to rig the lips. So first, I go to silence. I make the parameters. Basically, when it's on silence, when you go to mouth open, which I will put on setting 2, when it's on silent, you don't edit this one. You don't edit it at all. But when you on 1, then you can make the mouth open. So if I go top lip, for example, do a little lip up a tiny bit, and the bottom lip a lot, because it's mostly the bottom jaw that move when you speak, and the top lip not as much, but a little still. So basically like this. So you can see when I'm on 1, mouth open, but when I'm silent on 0, the mouth doesn't move. That's the first step. So next, I'm going to do the same for the inside of the mouth. Oh, 1 moment. Up. I was just fixing my phone, because I use my phone as my webcam, and it gave me a low battery notification, so I have to plug it. I have a cable right in front, behind my monitor, so where I plug my phone it usually charged, but I forgot to plug it this time. Anyway, as I said, you do the same for the inside of the mouth. On silent 0 it doesn't move, but on silent 1 you need it to feel the inside of the mouth. I'm doing a sloppy job, but as long as you catch basically what I'm trying to do. Ooh, I guess I haven't colored the thing properly. Let me fix that. Yeah, I forgot some spots. So, oop. Save. And if I go to my border, replace. Well, perfect. So yeah, now we have the inside of the mouth that move perfectly. And next, we are going to repeat that for the teeth. So, the top of the teeth and the bottom one. It's like the most basic. And what I like to do is to change the parameter just a little bit. Put one here. As you can see, the parameters are really simple for now. Usually when I'm not doing the phonemes, the mouth form and mouth open parameter will have like 5 different nodes each, but since I'm doing the phoneme, I don't really care too much about the basic mouth open and close, because if I'm not speaking, chances are I'm just going to be and not much else. I don't really have to worry about because on the old one, when I didn't have the phonemes, I had the phoneme built into the mouse open form stuff. For example, if I would frown and open the mouse, it will basically make a U shape sort of. But I don't have to worry about that here, so here I'm just going to make the smile, so basically just that. My hand must be getting in the way a little. I think I will. Well, I don't know, but as you can see, I'm doing it on the fly, unscripted. I'm terrible at doing scripted stuff, so bear with me. I'm so sorry. So as you can see, I haven't touched the mouse form parameter for now. I'm not going to just yet. You will see why. Usually I rig it straight onto the lips, but not for now. So next I'm going to rig the top lip to each of the phonemes. I feel it's easier to first do all the lips and have an idea of where things lay, then do the inner mouth and the teeth. So let's start with the easy one, E. So basically a smile. Like this. That's the E. So you make like a little battle with your lips, basically. Like this. Like that. O is straightforward. It's just the shape of a literal O. Technically with these parameters sometimes I change where the jaw goes, but it's really up to you. If you want to go a more simple anime style where the jaw doesn't move, that's fine. If you want to go complex and make the jaw move, then you have to put the right deformers and stuff. But right now I'm doing simple. So now we got the O, the A. I tend to make it a little more square on the side compared to the E that is pointed. Oops, that's not what I wanted to select. So a little more square like this, A. And of course the A. That is basically the same as the default mouth open most of the time. Like this, and the top lip will like that. Now we got all our vowels. And now we do the same with the teeth and the inside of the mouth. Like this. For the E, I don't really have to do anything. Really having the teeth clipping to the inside of the mouth, it makes things easier, because as you can see, if I didn't, the tips would go all over the place, so it's much easier to have them clipped to the inside of the mouth. squash the size. Like so. And it doesn't require much. Like so. So now we got all of the phonemes properly rigged. And what you can do next for the mouse form, you could do directly rig the mesh directly to the parameters, but in some program you can't have more than 2 or 3 and it can get messy. So what I do is I put the inside of the mouse and the both of the lips into a separate deformer, and the deformer is what I'm rigging to the form of the mouse. I'll make the deformer have more section, so I'll put at 7 or 8, like so. Set the parameter like this, and then deform the mouse to what I want it to be. That way it makes it pretty much easier, and I don't have to worry about too many parameters intersecting and stuff. So yeah, it makes it easy for me, but I'm pretty sure any really professional rigger will tell you it's bad, you can do much better, but who cares? It works for me, so I'm doing that. If it doesn't work for you, do it a different way. And if you find something else that works even better, go for it. Do what works for you. There's no harm in taking shortcuts or just anything. Now that I have the parameter rigged, as you can see, it's not perfect. As I said, the mesh isn't cut the best and stuff, but you can, if I go and, for example, change the parameters just a little bit. Oops. Better fit a tiny bit. As you can see, it's not perfect, but as I said, when you're using these, it works a little better. And as I said, it's also poorly cut mesh. As long as you got an idea of, for the eye parameters, I prefer to have the teeth move a little depending on the mouse form, for example. So here I'm setting them up like this, and when the mouse is frowning, I'm moving the teeth a little. So if I'm here, the teeth are here, but you get what I mean. I'm kind of all over the place. It's like, anyway, I'm just showing you basically how you can do the basic stuff. Once you are in there, you can fiddle stuff to fit whatever you prefer. But that should be it. But now that I have everything set up, it's basically it's done. As you can see, don't forget silence. The mouse here shouldn't move at all, but when you're on one, it should open. But the if you play them at once, you can see it messes up, because that's not what it's supposed to go together. I mean, it's blend shapes, and so I'm not really into the details of stuff. I don't know how everything exactly works, but I know you set those parameters like this and it should work. And as I mentioned earlier, my Gooby model has a different setup. As you can see, I swap the artwork midway. So as you can see in the parameters, if you want to do something like you could technically, if you want, I mean, when I did the O that way, it was on one end because it was easier, but it also gives kind of this toony like feel. You know, for example, the flash animation on TV, when they use flash puppets, they have preset form for the mouse, and I feel it gives that toony look. So technically you could have all of your parameters using a different art mesh halfway, and I'm probably going to test it out later. I mean, I love to experiment on stuff. That's why I made this version of my Gooby model, because I just wanted to experiment and see how the parameter would look on this one compared to my big model, and it was a decent result. So yeah, as you can see, for this Gooby, even the eyes have their own parameters for when I open the mouse. As you can see here, it's the deformer for the eyes, and they all have the parameter rigged, so the interface move for each phoneme, and it gives this kind of goofy meow. The interface really move with each movement of the mouse, and it makes it really expressive and funny, if you ask me. And yeah, and as you can see, it's kind of a mess when it comes to my parameters right here, but if you can see, for the mouse I only have these 4 layers. I have the tongue, but it's not for the mouse rig, it's for the derpy toggles. And while I rigged all of these to the phonemes, when you're in the program, if I go here, as you can see, it's not perfect. It's fine if I'm not talking, but it looks a bit goofy when I talk. You can see the tongue isn't really following the mouse properly. I tried my best, but I mean, I don't really use that toggle that much anyway, so who cares? But I have the smug face toggles that work pretty okay with the complex mouse deform. Maybe just the O look a bit weird because the whole mouse is slanted on one direction, but the O is on the other direction, I feel. So I would probably have to fiddle with this. I mean, the O is only rigged to the O. So if I were to put rig it to the smug emote too, I'm probably sure I could fix it. I could fix it right now. Just make it more round like this. But yeah, since it's a blend shape, if I remove the toggle, it starts looking weird again. Blend shape are really complicated for me. I'm just figuring things out as I go, and usually I don't really like making tutorial for stuff I'm not sure about, because I don't want to lead to people making the same mistake as I am. But at the same time, I feel like people could still find this useful, and someone asked me directly to explain, so I'm explaining because they asked. So yeah, I'm trying. I mean, you can experiment yourself with how stuff works and have a feeling for stuff. I mean, even if these models are technically finished, I always like to experiment a little. For example, now that I start my eyes, maybe I could mirror one so it look better and see how stuff look, and like it makes the artwork nice, but you can see it's a bit lopsided. So I'm probably going to go back and mirror some of the shooting star decoration inside the eyes, maybe, I don't know. But my models are ever changing. I mean, I posted a progression not that long ago, and even since then, as you can see, I changed my Gooby model twice. First I added the tail and the expressions that I didn't have before, because I used to make the first base and there wasn't any expression, but since then I added those, and then I edited them again to have the new mouse, and I'm probably going to edit it again and again. It's going to be a never-ending little tweak here, tweak there, adjustment here, adjustment there, and yeah, my model are pretty much just like me, forever evolving. I mean, I'm not going to do any drastic changes for now, at least I hope so. I mean, this month marks the first month I haven't changed my Sona drastically for an entire year, which is a huge accomplishment for me. If anyone who followed me for like at least 2 years know, I mean, last year before I had this Sona, I changed my appearance like once a month. It was a hell of my own making, but yeah. I hope this little guide thing was useful. As I said, for the mouse form, you would probably have better results if you rigged it directly onto the lips, or at least just it's because blend shapes are complicated and I like to cut corners, so yeah, I'm going to use cheap tricks, but I don't care. I'm making art and I'm having fun, and that's what matters. Okay, so if you think my methods are stupid, it's fine. I don't care if they are stupid for you. They are for me. They are my techniques because they work for me, and I'm still going to share them because they can work for other people. Not everyone, but as long as one person can find it useful, it's all that matters. So yeah, I'm just going to post this video directly on YouTube unedited. It's going to be a mess. I don't care. Just if there's only one thing you can take from this video is experiment and have fun. That's it. Experiment and have fun. So I was stupid and clicked the wrong button, and instead of recording what I was saying, I started the virtual camera and didn't record anything. So basically I'm going to repeat what I said. Once you have all the parameters saved and the model exported, you need to go to the advanced lip sync and calibrate each sound to your voice so it works accurately. If you don't, you will have, for example, if I click reset, yes, different values. If I go it still work, but it's not perfectly to your mouth. For example, if my E were more I would need to change so it work more accurately to those sounds, especially for example people with accent. If their E and A are too alike, it can mess things up. So calibrating the silence is also important, because I think it's because if you have some background noise, it won't think the background noise is you talking. So if you calibrate the silence to include the background noise, it will know you're not speaking. At least that's what I understand. So yeah, have your phonemes rigged properly, calibrate everything, and you can see the smile. It still take into account the mouse form, even if, as you can see in the stuff, I didn't rig it really well, I rushed it, but it still looked fairly decent. And yeah, I mean, since it was kind of a rush throw and stuff, it's not as good as my own model, but I mean, in certain part I think it's doing better, especially the U. My own model is right now, it tend to be more biased toward A, so my mouse tend to stay open quite wide. So I'm probably going to recalibrate my own model to make sure it's properly. So A, E, U, E, O. When I'm just doing the sound alone, it works well, but when I'm talking, it's not perfect. Even this rush throwaway model seems to be a bit more accurate right now, which I mean, I guess it's a good thing, because it shows that I'm learning and improving. It's a good thing. So I hope my little quick sloppy tutorial will help you improve too.